Yoabusia, and they are discussing the doctrine of hell. Debia yeti hell as a miniama yebeko hell dear a dorsal. In fact, hell cry a wine dear. A dear Benny di measure Eddie who said, oh, why into beko hell. Say if that's the case, I call I wouldn't ne. Ah, we ne. Or so then a didn't beko hell, and now automatically obeko heaven. Because Yahweh and Wobonim. Yen nanom ni ye janom boni mu ne yawo ye enu nti ye befa Kristo na ya baptize ye na afa ye nya heaven aso ahindie no mu kwan ma remfi. I am the way, the truth, any okwan no obi nkwa eja ne nchen age onam me so nti na kire se obi a wamba esu anhye Yesu Kristo din mu no enya de obekọ heaven. Nti akola ya wo ne nda ye wo na wawu no sa akola no ni faith eye den. So asem we Maame very popular when I was in Bible school. Because na me bisa no mo akọ bibi e de ama mmofra na omo ambo omo etu no omo wuye no say ho no mbekọ na me bisa omo say sa e ho no omo kasa nkola na bekọ no omo basis e wo Bible mu ye den na me be ya akụkọ nini e wo ho na me da so e ya akụkọ nini wa e de besi ende. Inti ende no ne ye ba be the concept of heaven and then ye kwa and otina ye kwa ha na me do be fa 3 different or 4 different stages mu ende. People are currently burning in hell. Eno ne ye bedi kan ahye na afa ye wi a ye ba be misconception of everlasting suffering eno so wo hell ho no ma ne ye wi a ye ba be king of hell. Why hell eye ne dia why no di hene e wo ho no na afa ye wi a ye be the Bible versus hell. There are simple things when you think about. When you read them, na nyame ya wadom mamenka na se wote ase a na obisa omo senti okay nkrofo nim ni omo ka na omo mpese omo beka ana omo nim na omo tie no so aden na omo mpese omo bedwene ni asebe omo tie ne ho ana eye ni da ho because watumi etu kwan asondaye wetumi a project a transcend akọ heaven akọ hu nipa e wo hono akọ hu obi a wunim no waya akọ duru hell akọ to nkrofo omo di boni omo wo hono omo ka kire se men ya abortion na wo ya abortion na de omo aba ho na hell na omo hu omo ne ade. Inti say if that's the case now people are already in hell now some are already in heaven. And the na judgment day no so de na beba because ye nyina ye chance say judgment day ni beba na Nyankopon wa be judge ye na afi omo de omo beko hell no or de omo akọ na omo de omo beko heaven so or de omo akọ se Yesu si okwa aba oba ba bu ya ate no de akọ o mai na so nkrofo di kan ye duro from bishop to usher omo di kan so daye edru heaven akọ hu nipa wo ho edru hell akọ hu nipa wo nti mpacho o misramo a nti na judgment day no e de na besi Edien na omude category ben omude che omude omu akọ heaven won bra judgment day no enya mba ye sa niama we nyina na mepese nde no yeto yebo ase na yehwe. Today we are going to explore a subject that has haunted many minds for centuries, the doctrine of hell. Nkrofo bebre awode wumbu ahyemu ma onwo ansa na waware because wo ba yenye wo ho ade akola ne ntumi nkọ heaven. Na wo won soso na ye nware wa eno soso wo beko hell inti no onware otwen omo ntumi anka nkire omo omo ante ase se wo ye oba awo twam na emom na ware de ntwamu ma na obetumi aware na obetumi awo na aware ne beto wa praise God yanka we ya nkire omo nti fibroid afa nkrofo bebre awode because omo ante ase wa asore ho se yefunu no eniama fifi wo na no na ya asase no eho na creation koso nti se wo pe se oni obi beda se oni obi nda fertility na ewo ho no de ebe koso no wanfa ba ntumu a bibi betumi afifi wo yenka we nkire omo e wa asore ho no. Now I want you to listen closely because what I'm about to share is not merely a rehash of old tales. It is a journey into understanding how our perceptions of hell have been shaped over time. Na hell asem no, the wo mo beka hell, ebi mu akọ ho aba o. Ebi mu kra kwa ko hu Nyankopon o se obi nhu mi no ntena nkwam no. Omo akọ hu Nyankopon aba. Nti na esese yetumi hwe. Hell fire bully no, esese ye hu adwuma na yetumi de ba fom. Ai A lot of people no be seen then omo wo niama omo di calculate de do be ko hell, de do be ko heaven. So which shariga ube ko bronsam jem. O ya lipstick, o ya makeup, o she nails, ube ko bronsam ejem. Eniama bebre o she trouser, ube ko bronsam jem. Ye wo niama bebre a ye de describe niama wo ya ube ko bronsam jem. No mo a omo soa no mu di mu hene, edi mu tintin ban preach sa de eduru omo so. No omo di omo ko hye wig na asem na sesan obi aso nya omo hwe. Ujaya ware a obekwa buru nsam jem. Obo adwaman a obekwa buru nsam jem. Se wo onom nsa a obekwa buru nsam jem. Nti omo ankasa wo category a omo de hyehye buru nsam jem ni heaven no. Na nso so saa de ni bi si omo so de a eye different case. Wo de no nso so e de to nchen a omo se ebi mu kra wo buru nsam jem a omo hye. Omo hye te se kebab se me ne wo kasa yi. Wo hye second hand clothes kra wo hye force a obekwa hell. Enkruma sese osofo ni bi so de nkwan a wudi a wobekọ hell e de aba wudi ogbono green leaf egusi. I don't know how they are the basis and the principles are omo de calculate sa asem we nyina nti hell aba beye ehunehuna e de amayen nti na esese yetimi hwe ho asem na ye can because the same people will say things na Pascal so for side there. And enye hune ya ma ekwa akoye mpo se eniama a wo ye ne openly no eno na de wo be ko hell ana heaven but ya wo ye ne secret there sa calculation no enka ho bi. From the paintings of religious artworks to the scenes of movies from Hollywood and Nollywood to Gollywood, Kumawood, hell has been depicted in dozens of different ways. Yeah, me say we have the hell ne de. Just say yes, you beka no nko mpo aboso me beso ade nkruma nkwan kra de you beko hell. You've seen the images of hellfire. Souls screaming in torment and gruesome demons. Aya ye hu wo movie ni mu na eja na ehye omo. Na omo ne na mu na ebi hwehwe nsu anom na Lazarus mu say ehye omo. Na omo hwehwe nsu anom. Oh, abibifo. Obibini ete ha. Obewu no wako heaven. Eno na ye nakoma so ade ene nea opre enkosi da ben. But it is difficult to trace these things in the Bible. Sa niama we omo kan nyina no so no wo hwe Bible no mu a unhu o. It's like we have been told of lies so many times that we form imaginations of them. Asem no mo ka wo asem bi wo ho asebe fa che me sa wo ma me ne wo papa wo no mo ka che se wo ho bon a on betumi aka na asem na tena wadwene mu se wo to perfume se wo wiase na de yo hu mpo a wadwene mu no wo hu bon why you traumatized about those words. Me kama yes sa hell asem ni pictures ni imaginations ni imagery omo de agu ya dwene mu ma ya picture ma ya de aba physical madam fubi o say Maame Grace me say me maame aye sa de we ya modify spiritual or the aba hunhum na mbisa say na spiritual na so hunhum and then they start to control our minds so mo bombard adwene no with those meaningless words na ni imagery na fe abetena adwene mu adwene no so dia wodi betum bia na process nti wote ho na wo hwe mesesi ya no se wo nyare na wo gitum se wo yare a yare ne beba na nu aso na beku se wo se wo bewu a wo bewu because dia wo de beto adwene ni mu bia na a process. I saw a comment on my page the other day or say, madam, you are educating the public but the system is also fighting. Education is the what they ma ade aye dia brainwash wa from ages abeduru baby no se wood se san edin but like I said last week no it is okay to accept say baby a edi me abedu mi hu ni ameye but enjai wo hu say baby obi di wa abedu na hu ni a obeye nti no we ja wo hu say call your kemiya call your kemiya enka say call ya na say file whatever men ja wo se emfa nkwa bi before a problem nie wo mo kan se nti de wo de amaye no ye mfa ne sada bi ni awadna nti wo mu a waba abeduru no den se wo bedane wani but at least prepare bi to ho na nkola ne bi ba na omo ani den a Why that could be me ameto me bone me treat reincarnation. That could be. Because tie ebi unum say na ancestors one away ancestor no ba ma me nka bibi nchiro. This system na omo say omo fight the one. There are people omo ye enemies for some nkrofobia omo ekg ya na so omo trap ya bibifo e na omo asan aba san nkrofo we nim omo nim era enemies omo betumi a fight omo big time no omo beba be fight omo nti omo ya na omo the family planning ne abortions ni niama e de ato bibifo adwenim nti ne ye aborting nkrofo no so obi tutumi fa ho na opie ba na omo amayen nkrofo ni bia na gisa mo mfa mo ntweni mra fom ancestry no ye be ye ancestry dakoro eye wa na wakọ na waba na wo pese wo beje wo nkrofo. These people they know sa guy lady we ye kun no years ago e na wasan aba na wasan be start sa ni say ehun ni bi na fe wa mo ahwehwe nkrofo ye be ye reincarnation dakoro say niama we ye wo source ni bi wa ha omu hui ha wa omu force ade ni ntu adweninim it system no de ye be fight baka so de ye beka ye be yi bi afiri mu kan aneke said the omodi niama bi be hye ye so force kunkum ebi no mo na omoji tu mu no mo fam ne ka nipa mienu miense bi omo fight be si na kwan da ho ebi fight no ye be fight akoduru ba bi omo fight ne be doso because liberation of African continent is a must. We will even die for it. We don't care. Because niama na ekọ na enye fe tan ankasa. E come chiro omakeke niama eni ho ne yenya ya programme e de ato ya adwenim ne ye nuanum ne binom nso ani ha ne easy life nti omukite mu se twe ne ye nyina ye bre. Just as our beliefs about angels were formed over hundreds of years through art, theology and imagination, the imagery of hell is similarly a construct, a product of myth borrowed from the dead ancient cultures like the Greeks. And the yabe so mu na ye say won nipa ni bi hu angel one on one saying according to them omoni angels ne kasa omo kan atwi mo omo bo omo din say from abiba. Where did they get the language from? This is a common knowledge. Say wo beti ase say ade a onipa a wafa onipa ne ha aba ono na owo language. Because from yetete mreni mu abesi emwa so ne ade nyina we were communicating telepathically. Nti eba ne sen ena sunsum a oni honam etimi nya 6 packs begina ho no no wo kan abrofo ana no wo kan English we ye damages ni bi omo de ye bibifo adwene. A product of me to nkrofo ya susomu ma yeso ya je dia masese abedu baabi ya physically ye hu angels ni so omumu ye ne omo ya abenkwan ye ne omo didi ye ne omo bonkomo ma yetumi nkra atwe omo to ahwehwem ma nipa dasani ni angel no communicate sani anko omo ma okolosi bi mpo na anu ye na anu angel no kasa ya anka ne ye bete ase because eno betumi aye etheric but physically a bibimemu ha. Oh my God, that bay when the Greeks once believed in a punishing afterward, similar to hell, but they called it Tartarus. Ye common knowledge. Christian artists and writers later took this complex mythological structure and molded it to suit their agendas in forming church doctrine. Inti sade no nim na hyase a unim ba bi efi abedu. Inti senka wo be defend bibimpo as a Christian a find the origin of that thing. Don't act based on hearsay. Inti nka wo nim ade ni basis na unim the principles, and now when you are talking you will talk with your full chest. Since childhood we've been bombarded with fear, scary tales of hell used as tools for discipline. So when you homework, I'll be called hell. So my guy ni so unufunumu a obeko hell. So my guy ni bo to a obeko hell. And the niyama bebre no mo keka hye yadwunim. Wo wi ankwan mu nam a mo bi entra on kasa me patro so munko wi ankwan mu nam. Let the child understand that it's not good to behave like this. Na ohun se ekanabra bo ho Say we nya de ese so oye. Men can't tell and say because of hell inti no onye papa. That is where the poison is. And I will say now parents will tell their children that if they were disrespectful or failed to do their homework, they would end up in hell. When you do to nipa junim, ye defia show bibinia junimwa, and my yembano, wa utu kwaya watana bulotira chebiano. Ube mo friend confidence no will low when you compare them with the white children. Meanwhile, there is not a powerful child than a black child. But adwene we yetiri mo bibini maame ane ba nyini okoware kora o person no kire no ba onware ye reducing kolani confidence to zero level nti nkolani ni confidence a omo de kasa wanye ni homework obekọ hell wo ka asem no yi ana obekọ hell ne papa ka asem no okebi obekọ hell aya no mo wiri afi se obi a wo nyini hu kwan sebe facha me onyansani nyini no jimifo susu nyini atopa so de enim bode ni na enim obi anadwene nya adwuma obi atumi bu atopa na topa bi aso ebe free mu ba nti sebio kafra facha me se me papa sebio kafra facha na nadwene hu tochema no ne me maame wo me na asem o ka ne ye sebio abodamfo asem a me abofra na se me gidi na me bu no because oye me papa we na ma ye raise a lot of bad leadership because baby otino wenyi nti oya ade a obi enka na ebinum titisi so akonto na bad decisions nko ano mo nam ha omo ye na because nipa ekotokoto wo munti eye omo so omo adusoro ho yeba pa yenyenja ye kora and they will end up in hell nti yatrati will say such images became ingrained in our minds. But I ask you, Nibisa wende, is this truly biblical? Say one your homework, is this truly biblical? Mibisamo. Is this the reality our creator intended? Say nyame bi wo kwasa de amo kana. Eye saying ne nyame epenana. Like, is this what is on the table? Is this biblical? Like, uko Bible nimu in totosa. Is this what is written there? And now obi you soon adwene will be so. Today, I invite you to challenge these long-held beliefs. Bisa questions. I welcome you to Time with Maame Grace. Today, we are teaching about your beliefs of hell and the theological misconception that have been created to rule your mind. Adie we na ase nkrofo bebre, nkrofo abrabo bebre asese. My name is always Maame Grace Kasongo. Bona we. Miana Kasongo, babe. It's another day we are going to talk about the doctrine of hell. Na mankran krebiara akwaba at the bad time with Maame Grace. Jumedie kesiye so na me waka na page and say break the chains on your mind. It's another episode. Yo abusian nan so ye kwesi adam me mankran krabia chi mankran krabia ha mankran krabia adzo baby a wo bia na mmera abo wo honom nchia na mede me bopini wo me jimidi so domfo na dawroma ntechrema da waboju na moja nsoso edi wo mu afurusane na wo kra ne wo edi ni yie abo wo nipadua ho ban e ma moja eda wo mu a wo kwa wo ba na wo hye wano ene wo kasa nsusu yie na amfa wa nkoto amane bia mu wo akwaba. I am the prettiest preacher on this platform. I welcome you to another great episode, Misconception, another doctrine of hell. And only here discussing Misconception 1. People are currently burning in hell. Among four gubrun, some gem momo she said, is this true? Ayanokrana. Hello, Amale. Let's get into this. Let me begin by addressing a common idea many holds, that people are being punished in hell right now. Many Christians believe that when we perish, God immediately judges us and sends us to either heaven or hell. Until we have bishops, ekokuroko akakraka kuku dam, animdie. Ikronimu ina di obu mo ako hell. Ako hu nkrofo, ako heaven, ako hu nkrofo bayen chen. All theologians in Ghana are guilty of this misconception. Say hell, what is here? I can say, in Crawford or Moshi, hell, some Crawford or almost so moody there. A bit of moody on More on Satiaka, in Suoka Lazarus, so I know it's a why. Some even give false visions of seeing people in hell and give them messages to come and tell mankind. Africa and spirituality, yay! Edian Granny, who call hell, and I will be doing Krama or Sebeka. Hell, dear, we're here. Children in their innocent anxiety worry about people who have passed away, hoping they aren't trapped in the dreaded lake of fire. Akwalani maami wua na omo de ade na gu na dwen mu na afi abofra no osu ne maami ko hell ana ne maami ko heaven. As I speak with you, enkrofo mo se 36 or 38 ni na 57 mo fancha me omo ayase ne omo moto mafuwi hwehwe baabi akwakoye bibi ahwe se omo na owi no owo heaven and owo hell anyanya bia wokọ no owo hell ade na obetumi aye na hell no kura duru ho mom ye nhwe obi wu a ensam na ewom no dos mpacho wahu osofo ye awufu som da so obi awu na osofo obi sie no wahu bi da omo se onko heaven onko hell nyame nja won de mfa no chese o magya no kwan so onko hell osofo wo tumi so ojo obi kwan so onko hell we dey question you omo sie nipa wa wahu omo sie nipa nsam omo ka no ya no watchro ennetie enko netie mensu nko nsum no mse okara ne nko he omo were right to do that pacho the almost wahu awufu sum osofo ye da misra wa na watchro wo comment section ho. But here is a profound truth. God in the Bible doesn't work that way. Instead, the Bible says God withholds judgment until the final day. And I may bottom. And yes, the Bible can. So nipa wuwa onyankopon kita tumbunimu. Kopim se judgment day ni beso ansana wa judge ebinum no de ebinum akọ hell no mo mbekọ heaven so no mo akọ judgment day is not here yet osofo. So how did the people get through to heaven ukohu womo a wo be ka kire yen kremofo ne nim se judgment day ena ye de ebinum bone besensen omukom se chen na wa wo de ne ye bone pa ye de asen wachi ansana ya judge de ebinum akọ hell ne ye de ebinum akọ fire ensumu enu nti na omugidi se tumbu na yewu na yede nwura na kekere wo ho na yede watum na watwe na wo munsu atwe a wodo mpa apro no omudi omu believe se sa atumbu ni mu no ebeda ne trasako na wadamu comfortably kosi se sa judgment day ne beso ansa na ya judge na yede wako eho anasa yede wako ejanimu baby am se meto bread na medi bia brem wo heaven na modi aye awurade adidi no say na nkramofo no omo dwen omo ate ase sankrofo no like low key omo wa principles so sabi asa omo asem na omo ka no asa epo bi wom na me nkrofo yidie judgment day yi nya bai me no nyina ate ya ye twen Jesus na waba na chete tembuo na ba ne antichrist ne de ka ho nyina mu ana mo ka ye nyina ebe na face se ye ne dan na ebinum aduru heaven wakohye omo ho a waje message a wubisa omo asem ya ebi mu kora hu nyankopon ka kire ne se oma ne dan ne nye close mu twi yen condemn wa ha akotwi yen condemn osro emfa enya adwuma. According to the Bible, no one is in hell right now except Satan and his demons. Every single human being who has ever lived, whether the best or the worst, is simply sleeping, waiting for the return of Christ and the final day of judgment. Is this not what the Bible says? Because obibe bisase na so omo judgment day ni ba na ada na bronsam na omo say ono de only right for repentance. You and I know into ono de automatically waje ne way wo ne dan wo ho na me dan no wo ne nchen hwa na ye wo ho twen say ye be ye bread ne ade cause eja no ye be use no for greater things. Ye di bi be generate oil ni bibia de bi abram wo heaven ho amamu use. Into omo ni repentance no nipa da seni biara ni wa Bible say right now as we speak or what hell till the judgment day has come. So ebusia from osofo ni de osun dai se osi okokoma okọ honum nyina no Why ni ye ne kasa sesi ye? E die be ni yen kan kire no because according to your Bible, Jesus could wu ye no okọ asamado. Say if you feel so ho na ye hell a e ko breki ho no ko fa o mu nyina fo. Nti why na wo so wo heaven akoto no we? Ayo mo kasa asem we kire mo amum bi so mo say nti judgment day no e die na be so obi awu a okọ ni place dadade a then Jesus ba obeye den. Nti e die ho atembu na obebu na no say another level. Na mo bisa o mo sa asem we. Osofo nti wo ye den ena hu se nkrofo wo ho why adey nkrofo no ntimi bisa question nti bibia wo check wo age ene wo level ene baby a wadu ade ambio na apese wo hu a wo twa ntro kakraka yi se wako hell akọ heaven akọ hu nipa wo adey na wo yesa because nobody is asking you question, everybody is afraid of you enunti ana. So even by using their book to analyze their doctrines, we see that theology may be scamming us big time. I know na maka cho ade am kire me very simple. Omo nti ase da. Asama me ke nyansa ni. Yakopon so oba na wabejeje ye. Na ode yan akọ hell. Na omo be kwa yiso akọ sesi wo so omo wo ho nti hwan na de omo kọ ho. Ana judgment life style na e wo Bible num na sesa. Where you simple calculations so. Simple analysis. So we say what is the essence of Yesu name maye na or banana what is the essence of judgment day? Say nkrofo wo heaven what that day chire mu chire yen e de na omode susu omode meja omode omokoto because you beje ade ebu aten no omaye ana wo na wugina Yesu anam ebu aten na wo de nkrofo ko primary hell any primary heaven maye nti ase we na ye questions aye bisa we African bisa we yo openyimu gina ho ka asem we ayere ne ho emonipa dasani te ho ebo ne nsem me se nsembo pa ni Africans there me se mehwehwem when a person become useless we dispose him. Kwame Nkrumah has become useless, so therefore we have disposed him. Na nkrofo bo mo nsem kwa mona moto we iso mo be wu achensa hey she so nipa yo onyo obeye wu leader pe we create impact waka asem bi ma wadi so atwede a ye fa so foro kosoro utwa to mfimfini office ro ba behwefom me na me ka me kiro me see obi boa wo one day. Be careful what you say about that person. If you person will reach here one day aduane no kanye no anka bi a wandu ba bia wadu no na nsembo ne de me se me find out sunsum kura time nsembo na chi na nipa ebo ne nsem omo ka kire wo se wakọ hell akọ heaven akọ hu nipa panimu te se wo wote ho obo wo nsem e wa asem we hu wo mbra de Bible ka na me ka kire wi sa de na me dwen hu na bibisa se ya dwen ni hia parazum ana akesha ana so say detox na ya dwen ni hia as black people in penifo na ye behave senyo nti de na be ka kire ye ma wo fie ye to so we are just tired of pastors threatening us with abonsam jem. Every day abrunsam jem one to title be ko abrunsam jem one to title waduma be say na abrunsam jem mistakes kura do be ko abrunsam jem osofo pe no ye mistake an ko abrunsam jem wajaya ware no ni yiri ni wuye ni kuni wuye wa ware foforo brunsam jem anya ne hwe wa ware mienu brunsam jem nya ne hwe church members ni bi omusiro brunsam jem. It looks like the stories of hell work faster for them than what is written in the Bible. This thing na ma analyze ya ma on any Bible move, but I no mu use. It has become a bigger weapon these people are using to scam people. Okwa kan so for ni ubenya asem, especially the omo abon no de brutal kra. Omo abin ni de omo nim say hey waka nsem o say no omo abon no. Bible say Bible no kro ntumi pronounce you. Bible say Edio, for example, let's talk about how people are said to be sent to hell based on their actions. Are we going to heaven because of akpeteshi? Or because two unmarried people had sex? Eno na dey ekwa burunsam jemu na. Na mu akra so omo so wonkwa, omo so wo hell and omo kwa he. Because at the end of the day, scientifically, so we pronounce here plant and animals. Omo kan ye nyina kan mmoa no ho. Nti mmoa no so omo okobia na so omo ye den. Cause omo de omo tumi ha ye tresom nyina omo nko hell. Hey! There has been a long debate in Christian history about the value of good works versus God's grace. Enyuma pa ene onyankoropon twedi ampon adom. Any crime is measured. Ubetumi aye crime bia wo pe just nu na confess the grace is sufficient. Grace is abounds. Bia wo dey just confess and repent. Boni bia wa ye bia no ye de achew. Ti Nyankopon pese ye nkum nipa 1 million. Na ye mbra so wo nu 100 and ahe times. Ni no de beche nti chese o mamo license to kill because wo ba na be confess pa. Enye se o confess a kire nipa no. Wo be confess kire osofo ana mpaye onu nyame a o de beche but wo ku nipa no wa hu. This is what is going on. Now you are saying we should not ask questions. Dabi enye ye. Some say that you must perform good deeds to be admitted to heaven. Wo papa ye ena de wo beko onyankopon ahindie mu. Nanso the same Bible say wo papa ye mpoti se ntomago e wo awurade ani so which is which? Huh? Whilst others believe that God places you in a realm based on your criteria beyond our understanding. God is not being specific. God is not specific for us even to know what to do here. But because the church controls what is good or moral or not, they frequently preach that even if you don't come to church, you will go to hell. Yomu pebiya omo de ahyemu bi. Be ko brunsam jam straight. Se wan ba sori a. Edi asem nie, surprising as it might seem, the Bible supports the gospel of grace rather than the threat of morality or being a good church goer. Usha Bible no so a enu so nie. Nipa ho na ye hwede jeje no. Me de mabro. Ha! Nyankopon wa ma ebinom symbol ne power so mo nhwe nipa anim se we trinity wo nko heaven we se unye se we ye bronsam we ye same boni a wodi wani hu eno na ye boni ahwe ni ye bebro ye bebre brutal. Some pastors, I'm told, ask their members to buy them new cars every time they are celebrating their birthdays. Omo no omo ni nyame kasa on your behalf. Na omo de asem no abrew. No mo di nyame mra no mo de mawo wantumi enbisa nyame ka wo no be bisa wo ka no wahala umbeto, and they make demands tied to that act being a token of God's blessings. Nyame nshira no beje wo me ho na wa oye osofo nyo na ni nyame kasa. In Ephesians chapter 2 verse 8 to 9, the Bible tells these pastors that for it is by grace, I read my name. Midin di ashita baby ya grace. Bible me won baby. Se see ekrampo nkrofo to grace ni to omo ho so. For it is by grace you have been saved. This is biblical. Through faith. And this not from yourselves. Bible na kan yo Ephesians 2 8 to 9 and American no. It is the gift of God, not by works, enya wunduma, so that no one can boast. Bible scripture I'm reading says ye adwuma. Me pamucho wo. Say ye adwuma nka appreciation day ne cars ni niam e koso no. Ene yankasa ye hypocrisy. A ye wukura ne nipa nimu hwehwe nimu. Ene ye dentinka ye scripture we yanka niama bebre besesa. This verse reminds theologians that their faith is not simply determined by actions, but by the grace bestowed upon them by their God of worship. That is a religious principle backed by scriptures. As someone became a mama scripture, are they applying this? If you feel me, I am your problem, you come. Let's sit and dialogue. If not, keep quiet. If you keep quiet, I will keep quiet. If you want to talk, we will talk. But they won't. Apply that. I pray for the day when young girls will keep pregnancies in the church, even if they are not married at the time of conception. Now abortion no so entertainment form. Minim Arabia ono neba anyensen na wasu say the ban nkonko ye funu ningu because oya sorry pani ohun ni obeye ade we na meka no mitiri meka cha abofra ne say mama misuro me say wo nkoye hwe unye double bone na ma me ne kasa onte na meka cha nse wo de ma oba no nya 3 months wan hu bibia say wo jai sa ade we ya wudi akire mfaso ni hu a na wakoyi oba ne yefunu ama ne ntu de ma oba ne metena me fie ho 3 months no obi enhu no said ye besi wa asori ho no wa enhu so ya wo de bra me amaka koja hospital no akoyi abortion 6 weeks pepepe no no ne sofu peyi ne bagel ono so nyinsen nya papa ani hu apparently girl na nyem dada no mo de atete omo mpese obi abehu no obi tia ne na so say wunim se asomasi onyem de na call fie hot se okosra omo no kohu girl no so onyema na furu boss na kwala ni kunu wahi odimirika ba mi fie so obefa ne ba ko fie na mesese mu hu nyansa asebe yanum binum yenim se menjina mu anka wokoyi ube ye funu atu egu na sa wo ba na nwu biomu a na wabile mi hwan obekosofo foforo ho no waka che ne se wo ye bayifo na ama wo ba ne ho kire no wahu enkosi da ben ena ye beti ase se impo mistake wo ho na ye die hia ansa ye de fata na bible kura ka se ye wade nyina ho kwan na so nya ni nyina na fata yen bible ni mu nsem na de na ye amode ye de benefit mu nko na mutumi translate ya na ye bisa questions so amusimubu afu my radio you could see some are so red. The baseless fear doctrines and misconceptions are enslaving our young people. Girl nene boy no omo betimi start say omo bobra bi when you go to Mexico hanomo ayi your friend was saying Santo Domingos ubehu akola aketoa na t-shirt e sha omo numpo no na enye papa bi atumi say omo nya skafo sa na womo ahumienu na omo di akire na omo okoni amanketenkete na omo ye na omo bobra enye mo ana mo kan say onyame nhira na mo nipa ye odefo na obra djuma me yemfa bi nka ho ade na mo de pressure to young ones no so sa ubekwa kwhwe ne dem so wa akonwa ansa wa mana ware. These are things that are cutting your generation in strength no off. Inti oni sikode bekwa akoye nti ne wakoye yefunu negu nanso se wo hwe bible no mu so asem no so enim baseless sham hwinim na omudi ahye ye man so na omowo slavery no mu in disguise. We need to work on these things to liberate our children. Momunya freedom na ware no kra bobo ho dawuro na nyame pe no akosi sen ayeyie boduku na bomutri so bare. It's a let it be a choice. Men short trousers with short trousers obekọ brunsam jam. Let it be a choice. Mumman krofo nya omoho mumma yanwi. Now let's look at misconception of everlasting suffering. Just obekọ brunsam jam obechi se edwe no rest. Bible. The way pastors have been teaching about losing souls and how people give their souls to the devil. Someone once asked me, I said, Maame Grace, is it true that you can lose your soul forever? Just as some no ekwa said the American some ba kun wa ha na etu atese no. Sa na omo konso no omo kopeke nsem na ha na omo be answers. Obebizame. I say yampa. So baby to me losing his soul forever now. What happens to those who have given their souls to the devil? Bronsam owo souls or to souls now. What happens to those who have given their souls to the devil? Ebusian no kurani nyame anim. Enhi fa na mo hu se bronsam abodwa. A wa ma obi ama ne so se me di mi soul ni me nkwa nyina ama o meso me nkwa da nyina ma hu bi da. Nti se yesi ye ka se nka obi mpo ogigi obi soul se ye hwan ya. What happens to those who have given their souls to the devil? And if you lose your soul, is it lost for eternity? All these are questions. Omo omudi omu souls ama debo omo omudi omu kra ama brunsamadi enebesi na nukure womu so se wo lose wo soul na wa lose no kwata na. Another misconception is that hell is eternal. Enyade ebejai. A place of everlasting torment. Many who are there to a fire and brimstone theology believes in eternal punishment because both Hollywood and theology have consistently painted that picture for us. So we could talk with some of them, I bet you won't shida. Like a beshua, the only hodie. We should move in a jana Now, I explained that question. I want us to listen. Your physical body has no right to sell the etheric soul. Get this straight. When you are playing with your soul, be careful. Your physical body, no, any right, say beton etheric soul, no. Medical catcher say, o body nipo, ain't mean giving up on the soul that. It is rather the soul that can give up on the body. So everybody is saying na body need to me tone soul no. Mama yebisa ye ho sa questions we. So mo keka sa niyama na. The human body is an illusion. So be ate say it is material. Enuti de to me say the soul is eternal but can't be sold. Yen to me tone it cannot be sold. However, as long as you are on earth, someone can trick you into thinking you sold your soul. And you will bear the consequences because your subconscious disassociates unknowingly from the soul. This is the trick. This is the game. Because at the moment your soul disassociating from your body now, automatically your spirit is lost. Because and no binding these two together. I want us to get this straight. When this happened to you, it is a biggest disaster that has happened to you. The devil cannot have your soul. Your soul cannot be sold forever. Now I will explain. But your choices and the consequences, you are not free from it. You are free from your choice. But trust me, you are never free from the consequences. The reason I always tell you, be careful what you do. They are what you need to obi ambo, but they see what they be see what can. Me na me kamechero. Sanka, we are free from your choice. Now we are free so from the consequences. Sanka, one sex you have 9 months. Shabofreya to carry war for how many years? Your life is miserable because of that one sex. Choices are free, but the consequences is never for free. Sin is sweet, but wait for it. The soul redeems itself from the death of the body. Another thing. That is how the soul exists in eternity. Obetumye free body nimu at any time because a material and a soul ni etheric. So what who difference no? Instead of how my heart, my soul belongs to you. It is you who is rather selling your soul. And you are saying, selling your soul. The devil has not asked anybody to give the soul. Who needs you? My soul belongs to you. I surrender it all to you. Sunday school. Now, the soul redeems itself and from the body. And no, they bet to me a film just like a film and Jubia and the Keke. Funny enough, a significant number of theologians argue in favor of soul redemption from another angle in a doctrine called annihilationism. The idea that after a period of torment, God simply wipes out the consciousness of those who cannot be redeemed. Almost one with doctrine and theologians and so on. The argument here is that if your entire consciousness is even corrupted in sin, your soul is sent to hell. When we said the Omochiremuno, God will completely destroy that corrupt consciousness and set the soul free from everlasting torture. And if this is the case, then what are you preaching? If this is the case, then what are you preaching? This imagery suggests a finality, a complete annihilation, or reboot rather than eternal suffering. We're not theologians, no more culture. Now, let's look at King of Hell. Someone who near more kano. Until baby sasa no ni basis no way. Ubebisa sa annihilationism no, the basis of Bible no, muno ewo hefa. Now let's look at king of hell. Nobody creates imagery of hell kingdom like what we have seen in movies and Friday all night prayer services. Obiye ni wono ma obetumi create sa image we ube hu ni yie chen movie mu any all night ekonom no mo bombard bronsam with the image of the kingdom of hell on our minds from movies and books. We just couldn't wait to go and fire guns and arrows into the devil's throne at Friday all night. Prayer service no. All night prayer service every ye be bombarded bronsam ye tumi sa no kora tua na kekaduro. Star bi ye tumi boni tuo. Edien bronsam edien ye fanye no. Na wo Jesus aba we meku no kwa wo boni tuo. Does this make sense to you? Omu tumi tia no omu sa na ebi kita nsekan na omu de bro no na ebi kita ndua na omu de bro no eguchi soup kura ho akere no di a ogbono udi a wo beko hell ye tumi boni tuo na ni ase pe de edi tuo hye ho ni hwini mu ni ye de sho na ya ase ni sisi akire mi se ye boni tuo left right center ye tat ni dress na ye tated ya bro no ye bubu ni walls nyina ebia fastia mom stomach walls ni mu nyina atete because of this hell and this obronsam man. For what? Why do we tell people this? And why are you even listening to this? Bronsam wabo bibi. Hell na wo say no any bronsam wabo bibi. Onishio. Inti hell na wo say no na bronsam ene dia. Wo say hell a what boa bronsam mo mama na ye free. Do you think about this? I mean to me da. How Africans understand religion and spirituality mean da. Drama ni ye too much. Joke ni ye too much. And nothing I may worried about say parliament eba social media no. Social media nankasa won energy. So what start say wo ba na unye grounded da. Fame no a bit true left right center before we be hu no wadane nananom. I just say wo grounds. Inti adie bia ba social media eba woni original strength mu but said ye ebe survive was awiase ni mu no before you know no na no adane ne dia epe because we have masters who control there too. Inti we na ekoso na ema misro parliament bibia omode ba social media no when you see that thing coming na be joke. Yeah, me ye worried so much because obia person can be not trendy. To be a platform no best say obia no they are trendy. My back, you can't ride on my back and trend. You will die before your time. Said you bet chirasi be a chirasi and family. Oh, share time with Maame Grace. I am the prettiest preacher. Mama G, the greatest G. Call me Kasongo babe. I am the only living saint. Mi hu yesumi ye saint. Oh male. That is the idea for prayer warriors. No bombard bronza. Bombard na man entire mu nyina atuetu ti said you Afghanistan. They are fighting to bring down the throne of Satan in hell. Is hell a Satan kingdom ana? First of all, what is the role of Satan? Yen check your answer. Bronsam ni nyuma yeden. Many of you have been taught that Satan rules hell, depicted as a powerful winged demon. Na tabaya kakraka. And no rule hell. The king of hell. Matunidin. Ono ye bronsam. But in the Bible, Lucifer, originally known as Hell Satan. Medika yesa episode no full episode. Hell Satan, you can go and watch. Simply means the adversary. When you say Hell Satan, what the ba abrofoka semua echire the adversary. Ti ase na heaven ye ne dia. Odo no rule wo ho. Ekwo ye ni krum. Esese o Kristo ni onim nyansa. Esu jade kwa bronsam jem. Na ho na nye ho na jane originally ni wo. Enti wo eja be na fi wanum ba. Sa wo ye dragon kra wanum jane ntumi hye enso hell de na be chi wiase nyina no. Enti ne kura ne sen. The Bible does not clearly define Satan's powers or his origin. Bible and chere baby a Satan na hoden wo anase baby a ne fare ba efi. Se wunima platform is open. Come and tell us. Aden. Hell is actually Satan's prison. So what person we proper theologian. It is a Satan ni prison na ye hell na or how senya. Ubebre udi jabeko hell bo makose ho. Does this make sense to you? Not his kingdom. Any prison. God of the Bible rules over hell just as he rules over heaven. Do you say I'm lying? Hell no, and you no why ye. I ode aboni fo obekwa kogum. Nti e ho ye Satan dia. O Satan so ye boni nti no wenya portion wo ho. Nti e ho nye Satan dia. Your God who rules heaven is the same God who rules hell. Get this straight. You don't need to stress. Bronsam according to you. Or more she anamebwa. Abo bibi. Nothing. Enji sa we Christo ni na bubu hell. Unyankopon na no bo hell. Bronsam or more she according to you and your Bible. So when you are praying and fighting against the kingdom of hell, you are fighting against the God of the Bible, your own God. Hell is important for the God of the Bible. That's where he keeps bad demons. So what's up? And then I will say hell. Say some de na bo hell, like you are saying now would throw near my command na. How did he go to God and ask permission to tempt Job? Bibisao. Wow, a lot of things is not making sense. But as at how I am figure the end out, no. Mean to me, intimidate me bisa questions. Em sabron sama be wure mi mu. Wa be wure mi mu banka be man ntoma akata no ho. Me mane nko. So what's up? Do you really know what you are doing? Ba wo su Jacob runsam jem, o su Jacob runsam so. Shia no Jesus ba hu so oye ni bibi. Jesus kora ne ni gina ho no. Ono ne jojo ye no fa ne we no ko we nkum no. Wo kubunsam. You know where? And you are praying to destroy that prison. Hey! Prison and Yankopon abode bronsam ni demons egu wo no wo bomb pa say wo say no nti imagine the gate of some prison being destroyed. Where will hifana nkro prisoners na omo ho no omo beko. Enye krom no mbeba. Na so omo be krom a wo timamuni ehe na wo konsoyele. Ehe na wo. What are you doing? Ede na wo ye Christopher, Satan is not the ruler of hell. Me pamucho or more hell. Hell is for your God. That is where he will put abone for to say yenum and his prisoners. Misramwa, Satan is being kept as a prisoner there. It is a bubu who sujakwa now you say obrunsam jemusenya. You are helping Satan to break free. No ni pe on break free mpo na muni anute. Ti mucho break free now become ho ha. Ehe na mbefa. The one who owns hell and created hell is Yahweh. It is part of his kingdom. Na saadie we opa commercial palace. Kwa himfie bia na ya na ne hifa ko bi so bia say omo kingdom ana omo palace ho no omo ni prison wo ho ana. Kona ko bi so omo ni dungeon wo ho a. Omo de abonefo ni hyemu a. Omo de omo ko okun omo di be sacrifice omo tuntum obi kona ko bi so aden kra na ye understanding ye basa say enen anka me pese me ni prophetess bi ye iba me hwe na rig na me hwe de we ane moma so no aye no na ne shoe na yi ne slit no so I realized that me descend so low me po obi na me de na ya de but I want somebody beyond me me mpe obi below me. Inti mi hu said their pelt no so bombarded no na me say we me koso so kra na mama pelt no kra adwuma na yekwa. Congratulations to you guys. We are fighting together. Aluta! African liberation, we will die for it. Wa asema me kachire we. Minia. Asema me kachire, is there any sense in this? Me kasa asem we akofa sa rubber, mob rubber we atali utiri so say wig. Metal dental floss abecho ate. Onofia. Nebo to pay, and I'm also Joe, and Ojo, Osuru Joe, Akabaya. Me Grace to cry me to me catch you plane, say Paul I know. Jesus I know. Who be you? Who kokumburu nsam? Now who say Jesus kukumburu nsam? Yes, smart. Go to every castle in any place on earth where there are kingdoms and royals. All the castles have dungeons and cells where bad people are kept. This is just a system. We impending for to sell mo. Mun to me kind of crunch and master sankrofo mbegu asori them. Because munya kase heaven in hell be a ni baby obi e kopa case close intino. Mwan kra munya kra mo bechichiribi. We in the before a causing and so much damage. We don't learn. We don't learn to understand that this is just a system. Yeah, funny say ye BB see ye. Ye making issues out of everything. Unnecessary argument, ye exaggerate it. Where ye simple setup. But see how hell and heaven has destroyed Africans. Ye wukranke ye son fasoye. The kings keep the prisoners and use them to go to war and do dirty works. Adie we ebi wo Bible Joshua 9. Nkrofo na mo beka Israel fo no mo twa ntro. Se omo ye Israel fo mo hye se de nkrofo abo omo na so atete ne ade. Omo ni omo ya apam wie ye no omo hu so omo nye Israel fo no omo dane omo nko na omo no omo bubuja. Sa nkrofo no na omo si den dungeon ne ma omo. Na omo dem hell. Omo si ma omo no omo dem. Omo prisoners. Okay, meaning. How are you reading your Bible? In the same way, some theologians suggest that Satan is used by God as a test. Anamebwa. Obrun sambu bom se jata. Osushe wo obi amene no. Nanso to me biare ni mu. Obrun sambu bom se jata hey. Osushe obi amene no. Nanso to me biare ni mu. Sabron sam jeje wa jina yesu dimo kanenim no bejani everyone sabron sam jeje wa yesu di no useless ene hu ominfu osumo no kwale sane alaka mi woge enye oglonya volo mabie tan la je to pass me he ya na vai bie tan la je to pass me ogloga no. What's the day? So I brought someone to do a yes to dinu ya mutu. Efite epue. A temptation to see who is truly worthy of entering heaven. Sabron samu ni hanuma wu ni sheye. It is reflected when Satan was sent to test Jesus after fasting. Jesus himself has to encounter the devil. Satan. Before he can proceed, okay, mini. Osumoro ba counter Jesus, Osumoro ba counter devil. Minji a girlfriend, me na me hind man come. Ma bua na Satan, I encounter. Satan was also permitted to test Job by God. Tell me, baby, and a crime what? Somebody who gives you the way to experience your God. Now, bombarding no. Ebatobo wa osumono ba kaseni oh aba milkibo no o fufo fe ba jele ba ne ba jele o musuno osumono ba kaseni tajeme. Now let's look at the Bible versus hell. If I ask you why you are a Christian, your answer will include something about Jesus saving you from hell. And I'm a badam. Denti na uye Christonia. Uye Christoni because bronsam enyankopon save you every bronsam nsem ana bronsam jem. Hell and heaven are the very foundation of Christianity. Senye no an kamon brother. Without it, the modern church is useless, hopeless. Don't get angry. Asamna na me be say Adentina ya mose brunsam ne hell. Brunsam ombo hwe. Nti say God's hell. Frine komen ka brunsam jembium eye nyame jem. Na mo amu ya confused o. Suma oja nyame ja. Suma oja men free strom mesi barabu sum no. Baby me ya phone neshemo so safa me wonno onyame janko sebe bia me yefo neshemo so safa me wonno onyame woja na burunsam woja nyame mbo hwe ada na wo frɛ nyame ja say nyame hell na wo so burunsam ja leave that nigga alone no oh that time with Maame Grace abusia. On a more serious note, let's make sense of this small thing. Na yembra back ninja time na ye wasting no. Seriously, sometimes it's so embarrassing. Niyama ni bi wo kwa hu pa obi sasa adan na a grown up person. Video bi obi de say na me, maame nanim hyabuom na mehwehwe video na hu se mbehu a hwade maame ye na me bi sasa enti ade we pa maame ye oye. Enti ne kra ne say. O ka bibi enye adwuma o. Mentally, we are not stable because of these things. Christians feel they are sinners who cannot be saved except by Jesus, so they can avoid hell. Na me mfa me bone entale mitiri so na me mfa me papa ma wo. Say nyame na ama ma ye say na me ye bone de enye wo na ama me ye. It doesn't make sense to me. It's my opinion. Despite the modern church's emphasis on hell, the Bible itself gives us a different picture. The way I saw for preaching is different. The Old Testament contains 0 mentions of hell as we think of it today. So if you feel this is not so, bring your argument. Come and talk to us on the platform. Even if you don't want to sit with me, we will give you cameras for you to say, baby, hell woni nyina ewo Old Testament mu. Come and let's share it. Ni a ubehu wo Old Testament mu ni. There are references to Sheol and Gehenna. And no na ubehu wo Old Testament. If you feel this is not so, the platform is open. Now let's look at a few scriptures to back this up. Because omo platform so. Psalm 30 verse 3. I read, "Oh Lord, you have brought up my soul from Sheol. You restored me to life from among those who go down to the pit." Now let's look at Psalm 49 verse 15 too. I read, "But God will ransom my soul from the power of Sheol, for he will receive me." Salah. Another one. Until we feel say Old Testament has spoken about hell, please, the platform is open. Upon this rock I will build my church, and the gate of hell shall not prevail over it. It's in the New Testament. So if you feel hell is in the Old Testament, please come and let's dialogue. So research. Why? Now, let's look at Psalm 88 verse 3 to 5. I read, "Sheol is the grave or abode of the dead." So what? However, these concepts differ significantly from the hell of popular church culture. Any hell, any Old Testament, I just a New Testament in about hell. But in the New Testament, hell is mentioned only 23 times. So you can make your research. You can make your research. We don't have hell in the Old Testament, but you can find Gehenna or Sheol or Honomo. But when you come to the New Testament, that is when you find hell. And it is the whole Bible 23 times and they mention hell. Some scholars believe that missionaries used the concept of hell as a tool to convert unbelievers. A method to instill fear. Because they believed Jesus was returning soon. When I was 3 years, Jesus was coming soon. Up till now, you can see the big boss around. Christ is coming soon. I now see a woman so abanton me to me putting a champana. See, show why am I babrewa? Nkola ye wo mo fe. The bedroom baby no better no ama teacher me tina okura say Mrs. Samadri. Nyata papa metwanya ama fibro tie me yemu nyina. Ade na meyesa. Why? Theologians are so obsessed with heaven and hell that they have created a concept for babies who die before baptism. Theologians. Enya theologians in na many omo asem otu nipa no na many omo asem but omo po many omo ni asem because they open a greater opportunity for me. Nti many omo po ni asem. Maybe they will become teachers in my school very soon. Nti theologians we no wahu omo ya ma abofra ye wo ne nempo obewu no because they don't want to answer questions. Nti omo adro bibia momo. Can you imagine what religion is doing to us? That they can even create program something for a child that is born today, awewu today, baby a obeko, because he is born a sunti. Any pastor who has been to a proper theological school, he said a proper theological school, and 1 year, and 6 months, and 2 years, and 3 weeks, will tell you that it is one of the most challenging questions in Christian theology. That is the fate of unbaptized babies. We Africans don't want to work around this. Because theology teaches that baptism is the only way into heaven. The question arose as to how a loving God could condemn innocent infant to hell because he is Nyankopon be nie. Adenti na won pese ye be bisa questions. Obibini a wadwi mu da ho. Dabi enko yie. A baby who has no sin, has not even tasted food or language, an innocent baby. Ewu mayembo na sunti obeko hell nti say theologian e create baby e de mano. If Jesus comes today and they are here can say, what is the fate of innocent babies who are not baptized? Mibisamu, nkwala no mu fate we. Ye wo na we wo. Nkwala no mu fate we. To protect their theory of indoctrination inti. Some Christian thinkers developed the idea of limbo. Obia ni limbo. Obia ni wo baka kire me say menene kasa wa he oni made a friend say limbo. Obia ni. This is what these theologians came up with. They want to ompeso twi ya condemn into omo akwa koduru ba bia akola ya wo ne nempo no yembo na su omo hwehwe limbo di ama no. According to them, limbo is a place where unbaptized babies can escape eternal punishment. Into abofra na ya wo no onye hwe no ono so wo ba bia obekọ. Theologians na create we ama no. Africa your problems ne so. Minim ade a ye betumi di atoto ho. Na yenya so ye adwen se betena ho saa ye nye hwe. Because ye nim ne ye be yepo ade a ye dwen ho pa ye aduane. Some of us me to be there me say asem bia meka this year bia fa ebinum kan because yes I meka na be ye ebinum me no so abedane me din. However, there is no biblical evidence for limbo. There is no biblical evidence. If you are a theologian, if you are a Christian apologist, and now feel it has biblical evidence that the platform is open. Come and let's have issue. Let's have a discussion about limbo. If it has biblical basis or evidences, theologians no creative way. And the ama akwala ya wonende ya se wuwu ne ya baptize on kwa dia straight to limbo. They just introduce it to justify their harsh and fear-filled theories of hell. Because anyasa se wo kan se obi a ombo esu bia enko heaven. Inti no na so omo coming up with bibi for akola ya wonenda awewu because ono so ombo esu. That is limbo. Any biblical evidences or basis. Inti na ade aye nipa adwene na ye o use mayen ana ade e wo ho. Now, as we examine these theological doctrines, I invite you to reflect on a familiar Akan adage. So, uche ye nananom kasebi. Wunim ade a na wo ye ade. Ye nananom na ye o mukasa. Me nanano ta kasa asem ne kire o se fia wo de unim ade nti wo ye ade. Me nana kwa mbani na o kasa a kire me. If you know the truth, you become the truth. Unananum, they know this. Oh. Your ancestors. Omu wes nibi. Ena mi no. You see, for too long, our minds have been manipulated by images. and stories that have little to do with the original message of the Bible. Pollution is high. Our culture has been steeped in fear, with hell used as a tool of control. Inti hell, inti onipa nim the right thing to do. Inti hell, bibia ye hell. E hona focus no madam fu bi nkrofo ye omo se omo kwa heaven ye omo kwa akoso omo kwa nsi. Nkrofo ye omo se obi enchata madam fu you Australia bra wa bresi 2 bedrooms. Ne maame aton dan ne di osofo na ti so de kom se ye be chi na tum papa. Okwa heaven. Heaven baako. Ade a heaven aya manfo. You see ye be kan ye mpon. I believe that the true essence of divinity lies within each one of us. There's nothing anywhere than what is inside of you. We are our own gods. We possess an inner light, a higher one, a spark of the divine. This is who you are, and this is what I am preaching to you. Nothing less, nothing more. And self-awareness that can lead us to greatness. This is what Chinese people did. And Ankrofo with zero communication. They are ruling the world now. Yetiha. From paying so, they see her. Or believe he said, God, erade, edio. When they watch us on the social media, they laugh. Quack, 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 quack. Power is folded under the feet of a powerless being. Where are we going? We are finished. Nothing is going to happen to what dream. She knew where Bessie. Then I make a throw. Give yourself 1 year. You will find me and give me stones and give me giftings. That Maame Grace said it. When we recognize that we are the masters of our destiny, that our inner God resides within. Ada African fobe who sa asem we no. Then we truly awaken. That is the day that we will see the wind of liberation blowing. I be enjoy it. That will be the day, and that day will come by all means, at all costs. It's a must. This awakening liberates us from the fear-mongering of externally imposed doctrine. Until this is done, ye diagro. Imagine for a moment that you are not a helpless subject at the mercy of eternal punishment, but a powerful creator. Imagine this and see things that can happen on our land. At the moment you break these chains and you break this wall and realize this is who you are, everything will turn. A bit turning like a speed wind. Na bibia besisa. Na dabei na Africa beti asem we kakre ye wa hei ase. Ni yetumi aboa ye ho, aboa ye ma. Se si obi ye tu kwan ye kwa abrotire, enye easy so wo ho. But aha no onye bibi ndi ho de kwa anye yi a little effort na be ma na little comfort. Bibia ye hard. Ewa ha. Na so ha na bibia wo se ye close African continent, these people cannot survive. E dem potin na ye yen. Heaven and hell. Heaven and hell, oh. And heaven and hell. And ko bi betimi ada sorry afiri ne dem one day. Or say me pese me ye saying, no wako school, no wako sunya, no wa ye saying. Obi a effort nka ho. E dey empower no wo. Na wa omamu ni nyina ko gina wiem fra no patu anadwo ebi mo kra omo ayam hyehye bibi aguso. Who is powerful? Mesi abayifo no mo nso ankasa so confusion ti mo nkada mo hona mo so mo nkobi nkrofo ese o makobo mpae mo nkwana mo nkotro mo real powers na mo nko shim power in free carpet na se mesi afenyan Markins is doing something. Freemason for no mo agenda bi, they don't want to talk, but some of us are watching. We are watching power closely. When some people feel they have snatched powers, na ami bi rise from baby. Me can't army and nobody should think say you're the two of you baby. You know I'm a conscious being and I'm preaching consciousness. So when I say army, Go etherically. Don't come here physically. We have nothing to do here as a conscious being. We keep screaming, we keep shouting. One day, the veil will tear. The veil, it will tear, say Kim. And everything, every error will be corrected. That day is coming. I can see, I can feel. Black nation, we are a powerful creator who shapes your reality. Reality. The scriptures tell us that we are made in God's image. Akuko ba ya akuko, jan ba yo jan, kraman ba yo kraman, onyame ba yo onyame. Ana mo se de yen. And I take that one step further. I believe that the image is not just that of a distant, unapproachable deity, but of the very essence of ourselves. This is my belief. We are meant to awaken to our inner divinity and be the architects of our own lives. Until Africa understands this, Lawu, the doctrines of hell, as depicted through centuries of art and manipulated theology, are not the truth. It's a lie. They are things born out of human imagination and fear. They do not belong to the original message of the Bible, no. We must not allow ourselves to be ruled by fear. It's abominable. We should stop this. Instead, we must rise in self-awareness and reclaim our powers. That's what we need as Africans. If there is anything anybody should think about, say someone vibrating will be so this is what you need. So we really fear usro nyankopon. If you forget who you are, you will fear God because you don't know who you are. Sebo anajata ya pam na fifi ono nko anam no ono na hyenas chenere. Ono na bua bi etimi chenere. But sebo ono ni fie for ono ni group for nam no hyenas hu na omo ko omo achi. Eden na wo ye wo ho. Usuro nyame because we lose your family, we lose you die, we lose you kasa, we lose you bibia, lose you ho, lose you mineral, lose you bibia, and na usuro nyame na fe de wo do ho akoto whatever so. Wo de atoso fe de edu moba ni ndua nyina so. Oh! But when you remember your true self, you no longer fear. Se wo kai wo ho na hu a na ehu na firi wo mu. Na no na obetumi agina wo master ni obi ani mu na nti wo hu se mehwemani ase fie ho aye se kanye asofo no bro mia wo de ba ya na se se de abedu spiritual people so lawu who actually you are behind o share bi e ndru ha menua ya hawa ye woni ya mane ya ye wo yina na machire hell any basis. It's just a system. And ye de hunu yenya besim de. Uma yenye ye nkwaje ho adwuma. Ye liberate ye hu ne liberate ye continent ye liberate ye, but this is what we need. This is the job. This is the agenda. This is the plan. This is where we should vibrate towards to create a hole for the children to pass through for liberation of Africa. It's a must. And Africa will be great again. Mina mekai. Shalom. Peace.